So the sun is setting, I'm listening to some vaporwave, I'm rendering a song, it's a nice setting. I thought I'd do a studio tour. So my studio is complete mess at all times, but I try to keep things in a spot where it can be a mess, but I know where everything is, which helps. So here's a quick tour while I'm at it. So we'll start from left and go to right. Here is, I just got this today, which is why I'm doing it. Here's my mixer, which is a tiny ass cheap mixer I got to start making some harsh noise music, which was inspired by my bros in Aphasia, who I'm also collabing with. But that's gonna help me make some noise. Also my bank thing. Then I got my audio interface, Roland Dual Capture X, which is connected via USB to my laptop. And I have my trusty microphone, the SM58 Shure, which is probably the best microphone I've ever touched, and it works like a charm. That aside, my first EP was recorded using Sennheiser earbuds, and that sounded fine too. So I guess it's for whoever can notice the difference. If you mix something well, you can make anything work. Then we go to my laptop. I have an MSI. No clue what MSI, it's kind of old, but it does the trick. The keyboards are half out, it's completely wrecked. I mean the keys, it's completely wrecked, it's completely old. It's due for a replacement or a PC or something. But I do have a big screen, which is currently playing Geometric Lullaby Towers, which is an amazing dark ambient vaporwave album. And I have it connected via this. So rather than having it to a PC, I just have it straight to my laptop, which really helps out. It's really chill. Let's go up a bit. Here I have an Akai Keyboard, which I usually don't use for playing keyboard, but I rather use it for, you know, like pitch shifting. You've got a little pitch shifting, which really helps out for guitar programming and leads and stuff, so it's mostly good for production and modifying. Also, for all you slam heads, here's a little preview out a bit of my hat collection. Okay, so that's my Akai keyboard. Here is a cheap off-brand speaker system. I don't have monitors yet. These speakers are doing the trick. And I've got a pair of mixing headphones that are not on me right now that help out with the mixing. And these just have good sound. What else? We've got a bunch of patch cables that I received today from my noise setup. Okay, here we've got a cheap student Harley Benton guitar, which I mostly use for just black metal work or tremolo riffing. So I think it's in drop D or A right now. Next is it's not my first guitar, but it was my second. It's a Faisley, another cheap brand. All my guitars are cheap except for one. But you know, cheap does the trick, right? So it's a Faisley beginner, like, Strat style guitar. Here is my newest guitar, or bass. So this is an absolute monster. This is my 7-string Harley Benton progressive bass, and it clanks. Love it. Then I got my 5-string fretless bass, also by Harley Benton progressive series, which I have no clue how to play, but it works. This one's got a more clanky tone, whereas this one is more straight up fat and low for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's got to do with it being fretless. I'm not exactly sure. Then I got my favorite Harley Benton Mellow guitar. I just call it my Mellow guitar because it has a Mellow sticker on it. It's Harley Benton 8-string progressive. It does a trick. I've used it for a bunch of albums, which I absolutely love it, but it's been put to retirement right now. I only use it for specific things. Then I got 2 acoustics I randomly bought at a yard sale, and I actually tuned them really low. I tuned that one, I think that one's standard, that one's drop A. But tuning like acoustic guitars to drop A It's not tuned right now, but it should be in drop A. Is really cool. Playing open chords with that is really cool. You'll hear some of that on Prophet of Raw. Next, I got my pride and joy, my LTD ESP Javier Reyes signature guitar from Animals as Leaders. It's the production cheaper model, but it still cost me about $700. It was a fortune for a broke musician, but it plays like an absolute beauty. And there's a bit of my golf boot collection. It plays like an absolute beauty, and I love it to bits, and I've never played anything like it. Before we move on, under all my hats is my first Midi keyboard, which I think is either 46 or 60 key Roland, and it doesn't have many mixing like twisty knobby stuff, but the keys just play nicely. If I ever want to program piano, it works, which I have done on the new album, just a piano solo. Here are a bunch of hats: Visual Discourse, Crepitation, Splattered, Vovodynia, Cephalotripsy, and Dajal. You guys should check Dajal. Next, I have two pedals, which I got also. They're really cheap for my noise setup, and a drawing I made, which you'll never get to see, and some Death Notes, because Death Notes. Okay, so I got this the cheapest distortion overdrive pedal I could find, and I meant to get a delay, but I was stupid and I was in a rush because I only had like 5 minutes to order for it to come in tomorrow, and I got a reverb while I was meant to get a delay, and there my Dajal hat goes. So these are my pedals. I don't really use pedals because I do everything digitally, but for the noise setup and plugging it into the mixer, it sounds really cool. Bunch of CDs I got while I was in the US, and the shittiest amp on the planet. I got a Boss, I'm not sure what they're called, Boss Katana, the cheapest one. I mean, it's just so useful. You just plug it in, you just turn it on, you turn it to the brown, which is the metal, for all your brown note fans, and it works. And then I got my old vocal mic, the SM57, I think, or something like that. I think it's like, what's it called? FM50. Let me look up. Sure. It's a Shure SM58. Oh yeah, the other one is an SM7B, and this is a Shure SM58, which is my old vocal mic that got replaced by the 7B over there. So Shure SM57, classic mic. I used to use it for vocals, but now it's plugged into it's not plugged into anything, but I've got it kind of connected sketchily on this stand, which records this. And how I record my guitars, actually, I record the distorted signal, but it's not completely distorted. It's like a little rough. And then I add another bunch of effects over it in post to get that nasty sound I use. But what mostly gets the sound is not really the shitty guitar tone. It's more the bass. I feel like you can have any guitar tone, and if it has a good bass and good drums, it works. So that's my setup. Here's a bunch of golf boots for you friends. So here it is from a distance. It's quite small. Oh, I've got cable madness, but let's not talk about that. And this will just quickly go up before I release my next song, which I think you guys will like. It's a bit of everything. It's a bit of noise, bit of slam, bit of everything. Some black metal too. Have a nice